welcome to New Food Whodis, the show where we get reacquainted with food that's antiquated. Today we'll be making a dish called Silhouette Salad from the low-calorie cookbook section of the Women's Day Encyclopedia of Cookery, Volume 7, published 1966. So what is Silhouette Salad? Well, it's this. Ooh, what is that? Alright, first of all, what's with the name? Silhouette Salad actually gets its name from a cookbook called Silhouette Recipes, where it first appeared in 1957. So the book Silhouette Recipes was developed and published by Knox Gelatin, who saw the rising popularity of their competitor Jell-O in the 1950s, and they were basically just like, So, in an attempt to keep their unflavored product relevant, Knox went crazy publishing these cookbooks in which every recipe, sweet or savory, involved their bland, unflavored gelatin product. Take a look at this timeline of Knox publications and you'll see that in the 50s and 60s they were just spamming the market with cookbooks. One of Knox's major selling points is that their product would help you stretch food and therefore stretch your hard-earned dollar. You could easily increase the volume of food you made for very little money simply by encasing it in gelatin. And so that line of cookbooks called Silhouette Recipes, those took the same premise, but instead of stretching food to save money, you were stretching food to save, say it with me, calories. So as you might have guessed, this sales tactic targeted women and clearly capitalized on the pressures they felt then, as they do now, to fit into some generally ideal yet unrealistic body type. I mean, look at this shit. Ain't nobody shaped like that! Anyways, so the Silhouette recipe cookbooks were filled with all sorts of recipes and menus that aimed at keeping the waistline trim simply by replacing food with congealed liquids. And that is not an exaggeration. Take a look at these menus. Every single one of these meals begins with gelatinized bouillon, vegetable juice, or tomato juice. But, all that said, the highly respected writers, domestic scientists, and chefs at Women's Day felt that this one dish, Silhouette Salad, which carries the Silhouette namesake, deserved a spot in their outstanding Encyclopedia of Cookery. So, with that in mind, let's see if there was a good reason why. And as always, I put the ingredients and the recipe in the description below in case you want to follow along. First, we need to soften the gelatin in half a cup of the cold water. After a few minutes, put that bowl in another vessel filled with hot water or in a double boiler. This will help warm up and dissolve the gelatin at a medium pace, since boiling can cause gelatin to get stringy. While that's warming up, mix the cream of chicken soup with the remaining half cup of cold water. Then add the dissolved gelatin, lemon juice, and black pepper. Once combined, chill the mixture until it's thick but not set. On a related side note, I chill too much and that's precisely why I'm thick. Anyway, once chilled, fold in the chicken, celery, green pepper, pimento, and instant minced onion. Then pour that mixture into a 1-quart mold and chill until set, maybe 3 to 4 hours or overnight. Then, unmold and serve upon a bed of greens. Okay, time to see the finished product. Alright, I don't know about you, but I think this looks pretty damn good. And as you saw, this recipe takes time, but not really a whole lot of cooking. Most of the time is just spent waiting for it to chill and set, which is great because you can use that time to reflect on all the bad decisions that led up to this moment. Speaking of which, taste test time. Okay, time to serve up a slice of heaven. Oh, wow. What we have here is cat food mixed with fresh spring greens and just a suggestion of depression. Bon appetit. Wow, doesn't this look lovely? Cheers to low-calorie cooking in the 50s and 60s, yay! I wouldn't describe this as appetizing looking. I think in general, anything that is kind of like beige? Do you say beige or beige? Let me know in the comments below. Anything that's beige colored is generally not that attractive looking as far as food goes. Oatmeal, what else is beige? It doesn't smell bad at all. It smells like its components. It doesn't smell like anything new, but it smells like its components. It smells like, you know, the cream soup and it's vaguely chickeny. I guess you can sort of smell the vegetables in it, but it doesn't smell like anything cooked, and that makes sense because it wasn't cooked at all. Sound. When it looks gross, but it still slaps. Now for the big one. This is taste and flavor. It doesn't taste bad. Like if you made chicken soup with raw peppers and then just let it sit in the fridge overnight and ate it, yeah, that's all it tastes like. It doesn't taste like anything special, but it's also not like, it doesn't make me want to gag. If I was like locked in a prison or like somebody's basement and they handed me down a basket and they said, it eats the silhouette salad, I would oblige. And the final component, and I think this is where it's probably going to lose a lot of points, is texture and mouthfeel. Don't you just love that word mouthfeel? It's kind of like the new moist. Let me get a fresh piece that I can really swish around in my mouth like mouthwash. Amazingly, it doesn't really coat the mouth the way I thought it would. That said, it's not enjoyable. When you think of like cold, creamy things like this, I think you think of pudding. So when it first hits your mouth, you're thinking like, oh, I'm about to get a tasty pudding treat. Yay! But then you start chewing and you start tasting and you realize, oh, this pudding, it's fucking chicken flavored, and instead of it being smooth all the way through, it's got like little tiny cubes of crunchy raw peppers. I wouldn't want this for dinner. You know that simple all-American comfort food dish where you like cook chicken thighs or chicken breast in cream of mushroom soup? Anyways, it all cooks together, it gets super soft, it's really rich, and then when it's piping hot, pour that over some rice or noodles, and it's just like, mwah. Anyways, this dish is basically like that, but violated and absolutely disrespected. So with that, what's the verdict? Rip or resurrect? I'm giving this a rip. Big ol' rip. Stay out of my life, silhouette salad. I'm not throwing any shade to Women's Day and all the talented people who worked there at the time. I just think that, you know, that's the verdict. Rip. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to spam my entire address book with a picture of this. See you guys. Cheers.